Now listen to a podcast of a human resources professional talking about the interview process. Pay special attention to what she says about some good and bad elements of CVs she's read.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to my weekly podcast on HR issues of the 21st century. Today, I'd like to talk with you about the interview process. My talk today will be in 3 parts. First, I'll talk about some things to do before the interview, then some tips during the interview, and finally, talk briefly about what you should do after an interview. So, let's get right into it. All interviews are scheduled ahead of time. I've very seldom heard of an interview that was requested within a day or 2. Most human resource departments schedule interviews about a week ahead of time. This is actually a good thing. This gives you time to do some research and prepare properly. To begin with, make sure you research the company you are interviewing with. A question interviewers like to ask is why you have chosen to apply to their company. If you don't know anything about the company, you won't be able to answer this very simple question. In addition, having some key information about the company will help you go into the interview with confidence. Therefore, read their website and look up their social media profiles and any recent press releases. This information will give you a solid understanding of the company. Next, make sure you have a copy of the job description and review it carefully. Underline key elements, such as required skills, on the description. You can also anticipate some of the possible interview questions by carefully studying the job description. Then, practice answering the anticipated questions. One method of answering questions is called the STAR method: situation, task, action, and result. If you are asked to describe a time when you did something or used a particular skill, it's good to tell a cohesive story by describing the situation, the task that needed to be accomplished, the action you took, and then the result. It's also a good idea to get a friend to ask you anticipated questions so you can verbalize your thoughts. In addition, they may not be asked for, but always have a list of references available. Nowadays, references aren't listed on CVs or resumes, but it is a good idea to have them ready during an interview. Preparedness is key to success, and you don't want to tell your interviewer that you'll shoot them over later. This shows an element of unpreparedness that is easily avoidable. Finally, prepare a list of questions that you can ask your interviewers. Don't ask too many questions. In this situation, quality beats quantity every time. Come up with about 3 to 5 good questions about the company. Some possible questions may be: if I were in this position, how would my performance be measured? How often? What departments does this team work with regularly? How do these departments typically collaborate? What does that process look like? What are the challenges you're currently facing in your role? Now that you've prepared adequately and the day of the interview has arrived, let's cover some of the important things you can do to ensure your interview is successful. Technically, my next tip is about the day before, but it pertains directly to the actual interview. This tip is in regards to what you wear. Believe it or not, you can actually overdress for an interview. My suggestion is that you ask a recruiter or the HR department what their dress code is and prepare your clothing in accordance with the dress code. However, be careful. If you are told there is no dress code, you should still dress professionally, making sure there aren't any holes in your clothes. Then, set your clothes out the night before. Have everything ready so you aren't scrambling around looking for something you need to wear. Pay attention to the small things as well. You'll want to make sure your clothes are ironed and free of any lint, animal hair, etc. Dress to impress, and make sure everything is in order, including the cleanliness of your shoes. Then, plan your route to the company or place where the interview will take place. Plan to arrive 10 to 15 minutes early. You'll want to arrive early so you can observe the layout and workplace dynamics. In addition to arriving early, you want to bring a copy of your CV or resume, as well as a notebook and a pen. During the interview, take notes in your notebook. I don't recommend taking notes on an electronic device because this could be misinterpreted as you doing something else. During the interview, Try to maintain eye contact as much as possible, but not in a way that makes either of you feel uncomfortable. You should also practice good manners and body language. Be confident in the way you sit and do not cross your arms, as this sends a negative message. In addition, treat everyone you meet with a smile and respect. You never know who has the ear of the HR department. Besides, it's the right thing to do anyway. You should strive to win everyone over with your authenticity and positive attitude. When asked questions, answer truthfully. There's nothing worse than a lie during an interview. Interviewers can almost always tell if you're lying about something. If you don't have an answer to a question, ask if they could rephrase the question. Sometimes questions are just misunderstood. If you still can't answer, don't make something up. Just say you don't have an answer, but would be happy to answer another question. Always try to tie your answers to your strengths, skills, and accomplishments. However, also try to keep your answers concise and focused. It is always best to stay on point and to never get sidetracked. Finally, if you are asked about previous employers, never say anything negative. If something bad happened at a previous place of employment, it's better to just say you decided to look for better opportunities for growth and development. After the interview, make sure to leave on a high note, smiling and wishing everyone a good day. The best way to end an interview is to ask about the next steps that you can expect. They should be able to tell you how you will be contacted and a time frame that you can expect to hear from them. You can also ask for a business card. When you get home from the interview, it is appropriate to send an email or thank you letter to the interviewer. This email or letter should be short and to the point, just a simple thank you for the opportunity to interview for the position. That's all the time we have for today's podcast. Thank you for spending this time with me. Of course, please feel free to leave comments in the comment section of this podcast. If you have questions, I'll do my best to reply as soon as possible. Until next time, take care and stay healthy. Bye for now.